President Trump met with his Salvadoran counterpart in the Oval Office today, and a big focus was on that legal fight around a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador's notorious mega prison. We've got more on what they had to say coming up in just moments, but first, 7 News' Brad Bell was at another protest calling for Kilmar Abrego Garcia's return. Brad, what his supporters are saying now as this case drags on.
Yeah, look, this was a really bad day. The details are going to be coming out in just a second here from us about what happened in the White House, but it was not what anybody who was supporting Kilmar Abrego Garcia wanted to hear today. So they are now turning to prayer.
We are here as faith leaders and as a community, as communities of faith, to say one very clear message: bring Kilmar home.
With the Trump administration defying court orders to do just that, arguing the courts have no jurisdiction over foreign policy and a man in custody of a foreign nation, with the president of El Salvador saying he won't release Kilmar Abrego Garcia, Kilmar's supporters today turning to prayer.
That our government do the right thing and bring Kilmar home.
Even as the El Salvadoran president arrived to meet with President Trump, not far from their gathering place in Lafayette Square, Abrego Garcia's wife stood quietly with her children as one by one speakers called for a reversal from the White House. Among them, Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy.
Our government has the ability to make it right. And so we ask, we beg, we pray that we bring Kilmar home. Bring Kilmar home.
Leaders of CASA, the immigrant advocacy group guiding Abrego Garcia's wife, and the battle to free him from that notorious El Salvadoran prison, vowing to fight on despite today's setbacks at the White House.
This is a crucial moment in the history of this country.
We join our hearts in prayer for Kilmar. God, we ask that you bring him home, that you move the hearts of those with the power to do so, that they do so now.
Yeah, and so that prayer was delivered as they were laying hands upon the family there in offering support and as you heard, prayer to bring him home. Look, we're at the federal court in Greenbelt because this is where this case is coming next. Last week, the judge here ordered the Trump administration to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to the country. At the White House today, they said they're not going to be doing that. The judge has ordered another hearing. We'll certainly keep you up to date on what happens. In Greenbelt, Brad Bell, 7 News.
All right, Brad, thank you. And our Tom Rousey picks up our team coverage at the alert desk. Tom, Garcia's case was a main topic of discussion during today's Oval Office meeting between President Trump and the president of El Salvador.
Well, that's right, Michelle. Both leaders made it clear that they're in agreement. They say Kilmar Abrego Garcia will not be brought back to the United States. Now, this despite that Supreme Court ruling that the Trump administration must facilitate his return. Attorney General Pam Bondi says this is an international matter, saying they could only provide a plane if El Salvador agrees to let Abrego Garcia go home. But El Salvador's president, who you see here, he says the ball is not in his court either. He claims he has no power to do this.
How can I return him to the United States? Like I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Now, Abrego Garcia was sent to a notorious Salvadoran prison due to a, quote, clerical error by immigration officials. He also had a protection order from 2019 that prevented his removal to his home country of El Salvador because at the time he said his life was threatened by gangs there. Scott.